Good morning. It's Tuesday and I'm live in Costa Mesa, California for Namaste Today. Good morning and Namaste. Welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac weather. My name is Witecki. I'm the sensei to Sirius joy, here to stand in my heart and walk in the light each day. It is a pleasure to start my day off with you today, my friend. I am live in 5 dimensions in this beautiful temple of Gaia on Tuesday, April 14th, 2015. And today we're going to start to feel the shift in our life, the big shift, because Step 24 rules the day. Step 24, Aries, that is. We're in the Aries consciousness, so the Earth is rebuilding ego. And if you've been watching my show in the last 30 days, you know this is a big step. This is a new ego, probably completely different from the way you were raised. It might be the first opportunity for you to step away from fight or flight sort of syndrome, which is deep and goes into all of our legacies, into ancient history. So this may be, from what I can tell in the planetary alignment, the first opportunity to really rid ourselves from our primitive egos, period, in the last 2,000 cycles, at least from what I can tell. And so it's a big deal. And we're giving birth to this new ego. So today, I think, is the first day we begin to feel this shift. That's because Step 24 rules the day. And 4 is a very radical energy. As we're going to talk about today in our architecture of incarnation, 4 is the I belong consciousness. And so we're calling to the universe for where we belong. Now, since we're dealing with ego, and we're dealing with action, and we're dealing with strength, it's very probable that we started to build an ego in the wrong, or built from the wrong bricks, so to speak, which is not based on where we belong, based on what we want, based on power, based on control. So Step 24 can be a radical day if you're on the wrong path, and it can be a radical day if you're on the right path. Either way, it's going to be a radical day that adds to 6, which means we end the day in peace and harmony. But before I coach you through the radical vibrations of the day, let's first tame our brain, shall we, with the phrase of the day. I feel myself today, and I am ready for where I belong. I feel myself, and I am ready for where I belong. So this is kind of what maybe an actress or an actor might say before they go out for an audition on stage. It's like, I'm going to do my best, but I belong in the right cast, or the right person belongs in this role. Everything has its place. And you kind of give that magic to the universe at that last moment, kind of freeing you from having to do any sort of job. Just do your best and allow the I belong consciousness to take over. Same thing today, doing our best. And the only way we know if we're doing our best is if we are in touch with our own feelings. So I do feel myself, and you want to make sure you feel yourself before you walk out the door, that you're not feeling your husband, you're not feeling your kids, you're not feeling your dog, you're feeling yourself, you're feeling and in touch with yourself. And then after you're in touch with your own self and your own feelings, you are ready for where you belong. So take me to where this feeling matches another feeling, where the feelings are identical, where it still feels good to be me when I'm there. That's a very important part of belonging. And today, if you find yourself in a place where you don't belong, that's really a gift. It's a gift to say, I've been wondering if this job was for me, but today I know I don't belong here. It doesn't feel right, because I came in feeling myself, and I wanted to feel where I belong, and this is not it. So setting our brain up for that and nothing else, no other rhetoric, no other, fighting on the inside, is the best way to get through the day. One last time, I feel myself today, and I am ready for where I belong. And so it is, because I said so, I thought so. Well, the serious step of the day is Step 24. And in the architecture of incarnation, it's 2 plus 4 makes 6. 6 is I receive. So at the end of the day, after passing over this radical 4 of where we belong or don't, we actually end up into a place where we can receive. We can receive gifts, we can give our gifts, we can exchange, right? It's Libra and it's Step 6. So at the end of the day, today is ruled by Libra. At the end of the day, today is ruled by Venus. And I think if you follow your own passion, at the end of the day, you will find yourself in your own Venus, or in your own place of finally receiving, perhaps under the new ego, or maybe you realize the old ego isn't working and you dumped it real quick and got into the new one. Either way, this is time to come to some peace. So let's look at the architecture of incarnation. When you build it up, first of all, it's important to know that 4 is the most radical number. It's ironic because 4 is the first number of stability. But what people don't usually take into account is if you're heading for stability, you're coming from instability. And it's that point of instability to stability that usually makes us feel unstable, and then stable. So this happens really 3 times. And if you've been watching my horoscopes for a long time, anytime it's a step 4 day, I predict breakdown, breakthrough. But by the time we get to the 3rd dimension, mind, body, soul, here at step 24, at this point it's almost always breakthrough or not. I don't find that clients go through a breakdown at step 24. It's whether or not you go through a breakthrough, that you see on through to the other side, that you carry and follow your feelings beyond logic, beyond what things tell you necessarily in the normal world, and you find yourself on the other side. Or if the work doesn't happen, or you don't follow your feelings, or you're not in touch with your feelings, then the worst thing that happens is you don't see the magic vault open in front of you, and you'll have to look again. Today, tomorrow, etc. But that is our next step. So let's look at the colors today and prep our chakras to vibrate away. Well, as the sun is in Aries, we are rebuilding our root. It's quite a big jump, really. In Pisces, we were at the crown, and we go all the way down to the root. We go to the sun, so it's quite a fall back to earth, so to speak, from heaven. And so the root chakra is definitely inflamed right now. That makes people more aggressive, impatient. You have strength at times, and then you deflate at times. Aries is an interesting energy. I was talking to my own sensei the other day, and we were laughing about how Aries is the brute kind of energy, but really Aries is totally, what's the word I'm looking for, lazy. Really, the vibration is very lazy until it has to get up. Like, that's what I find. So it's these up and downs. In other words, if you ground your root chakra, do some exercise, make sure you're eating, you're sleeping right, ground your root, you're going to go through less turmoil and turbulence. Now, in the 20s, it's all about the 3rd chakra, our yellow. So our yellow chakra is open. You want to clear your breath through, clear out your future, clear out your past. Don't carry an emotional baggage in your solar plexus. That allows you to give yourself a good read on anyone that you connect to. And then finally, we open up on the highest level to I belong, step 4, which is the crown chakra, violet. And this means that at the end of the day, if you are feeling good about it and you are grounded, red and yellow, then you're going to find yourself kind of brought from a higher perspective to the right place, right time. That's a spiritual soul perspective. So we want to open ourselves up, and we really want to make ourselves available for the ride. So let's look at how this all adds up with the timing of things in today's cosmic clock. And here we are at the cosmic clock. Well, today the sun is at step 24 Aries today. Like I said, step 24 is emotions and our quantum energy, or our Uranus energy, coming together. It's important to note the sun just crossed Uranus himself not just days ago. So this Uranus breakthrough and take it higher is the overall theme of Aries, period. So today we're getting kind of a strong dose of that nearby neighbor Uranus, and we're taking it to the next level. On top of that, let's look at Mercury. Mercury is at step 29. Now, step 29 is the master step, the final step of any transit. It's also the tested degree. It's the degree where we are a little trigger happy. So our minds today will be a little trigger happy. I would think twice before you say it. I would wait a moment before you act. In fact, in most of the cases today, you're so ready to say it, do it, sign on the dotted line, that you really want to practice holding back and wait for that one time you act to be a special moment. That is how a master masters their taking action. So be careful. A bit of a poppycock kind of mind, so to speak. Now, moving on to the moon. The moon is in Aquarius for most of the day, so that gives us an emotional detachment, allows us to see the big picture, not take things too personally, which is nice. And so we have an Aquarius feeling of where we belong. Let's also mention that Aquarius is I belong, which is the 4, which is Uranus. So you can see the universe has positioned us very much in this emotional cold space with the moon and these other degrees to allow us to leap on to where we truly belong and not be so heartfelt attached to the old path, the old ways, the old comfort, so to speak. Now, Venus is still in opposition to Saturn for a few days. Today, she is at step 3. Step 3 is I believe. So it really is about believing today in where you belong. I'll talk more about that in a second. But you want to receive what you believe. You want to be open to what you believe. That's what Venus step 3 in Gemini is. So if you hear something that's like you believe, gravitate that way. If you find language in the contract like you believe, well, this is the right contract. And this is where we're trying trying to literally dig out of all of our intellectual rhetoric the new belief structure. That's what I think the opposition to Saturn is. Venus is opposing Saturn, which means we're trying to find the words, the new language, the new dialogue that is going to come from, at the end of the day, the new philosophy that Saturn's at step 4 retrograde Sag is pushing for us to get to. And we'll be looking at what the new philosophy is and boiling it down for some time. The important part here is we're bringing out the new language, the spring language, the new words, with this, old philosophy gone, I think, in mind, literally in mind. So listen to the new rhetoric and try to turn your back on the old rhetoric is what I'm saying. And then finally, Mars is at step 10 today. Mars at step 10, Taurus. Taurus meaning I manifest. So our ego at the end of the day, remember this is an Aries transit, so who's the leader of Aries? Mars. Where's Mars? Not at home in Aries. Mars is up in Taurus. So although all this internal change is going on in our Aries consciousness or our ego consciousness, it is in fact all for us to manifest in Taurus. And we're manifesting step 10. Step 10 is I manifest. So that's the Grandmaster, the first Grandmaster step of Taurus is step 10. And that means that our egos today are in fact manifesting. Now what are you manifesting? Technically a new law, a new land, a new reality. So the seed of a new reality. Aries is who we are, and Taurus is where we live. How it manifests, the whole 3D perspective. So your efforts today to kind of keep your mind in tow, to allow yourself to detach, not take things personally and take it higher up, all of that at the end of the day boils down to creating a first stone of your new reality, which is what Taurus is about, my birthday is about, and what the next transit is about. So taking a quick peek at the Tower of Truth, you can see that Mercury is at the wee titty top there of step 29. That's I feel and I act. That's why we're ready to act, we're ready to say. That's why you want to watch your mouth today. For most of the day today, the Sun is at step 24, and that is I feel and I belong. So we're trying to line up with where we feel we belong in life. Then later in the day, as the sun is setting here in the northern hemisphere, we move to step 25. Now that is I feel, I think. So our mind and our feelings come together and focus a bit more and come to that, but that opens us up to psychic. So it's going to be a cloudy evening. I wouldn't plan anything crazy. I wouldn't operate heavy machinery tonight. You're definitely going to cloud up perhaps from discovering where you do belong and going, whoa, what a trip, or from discovering where you don't belong and still spacing out and going, oh, what a trip. So thinking about that trip and how to walk on that trip today, let's add this all up in today's Joy Quest. Your Joy Quest, should you choose to accept it, is I believe where I belong. It is my opinion that's what gets someone through a hard ordeal or gets you out of where you come from, above the ashes of which perhaps you were born. When people climb out of difficult circumstance, whether they're a slave seeking freedom, or they're at slave wages seeking equality, or they're being treated unequal in a relationship, what gets you through that situation and on to the next? Believing in where you belong. The battered person in the relationship believes they belong in better situation, better treatment. The slave believes he or she belongs with freedom. We believe that we belong in a happier state of mind. And it's really, that is the essence of faith, believing where we belong. And so today, if you can believe where you belong, I believe you will find it. Because you'll be on top of where you belong. You will feel where you belong. You'll be mindful of where you belong. And because you're believing and you're believing, you'll be pumped up to jump if you have to jump at that moment. And this jump I'm talking about today, folks, might be as small as telling the boss, yes, I am interested in a raise. Or might be as small as telling a person, no, I'm not interested in dating anymore. But either way, it's that hard moment. These are ego-defining moments, and all of us are defined by our ego to not change. So when we ask ourselves to change, we're going against the nature of our ego. How do you get that ego a little drunk? You just tell that ego to believe in where it belongs and just think that way. Now, for those who are watched over in my personal Sensei network at 9:09 a.m., I'll be writing you to where I believe your heart is belonging today. And at 11:11 a.m., I'll get even more specific, looking at the Uranus in your birth chart. I'll be talking about where you belong. according to Uranus. Then finally at 3:03 p.m. I'll send you a text out that'll define how to get to where you belong according to your natal chart. All of that and more in the Personal Sensei Network. Now, we're not accepting new subscribers to the Sensei Network until May 1st, but if you'd like a little time in front of me, I do have 15-minute segments available called 15-minute gut check readings or 15-minute step readings. You can find out more at soulmart.me. So now let's beam to your heads directly from my brain today's telepathy. And in the spirit of Aries, I thought I would pull out some fantastic Aries artists. So I am thinking of and sending via telepathy one of these Aries artists to your brain right now. Is it number 1, Reese Witherspoon, number 2, Warren Beatty, or number 3, Charlie Chaplin? Reese Witherspoon, Warren Beatty, or Charlie Chaplin? All huge, right? Huge Aries. I'll have the answer for you right after this. What's the difference between lust and love? We get them confused. What are your turn-ons? What are your turn-offs? Do you know what really gets you hot under the collar, baby? Are you always dating the person that frankly sucks in bed? Are you and your mate not mating anymore? Do you even know what turns you on? I have that answer. With a date of birth, I can tell you anything. We call it Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. Find out your birthday secrets today, available online at secretsofbirthdays.com. And welcome back to Namaste Today. So, for the answer to today's telepathy, I was beaming straight to your temple, one of 3 Aries actor or actresses. Was it 1, Reese Witherspoon, 2, Warren Beatty, or 3, Charlie Chaplin? And you can imagine these are all obviously Aries. These are all big actor-actresses. The answer? Reese Witherspoon. And you might have guessed that one because I'm a sucker for blondes. But honestly, I love Reese Witherspoon. Always loved her work. I think she's adorable, and I really don't get tired of ever watching her. So she's a great Aries, I think, and she won my telepathic affection. But I have to say also, Warren Beatty and Charlie Chaplin, these are huge Aries. They really are. You can see how Aries can create like stronghold, fisthold careers that they hold on to, and no one else takes that place, indeed. So to today's rock and roll gospel, we are looking at single solo artists, big solo artists, ones that carved out a piece of some part of our consciousness or gave us a rock kind of to stand on. And today in that effort, I'm going to choose Don McLean. What a solo artist, huh? These songs of his echo through time. Particularly, it's gonna be obvious, American Pie. I think that's the best song to put out there. What a fable, huh? But of course, if you don't know about Martin Luther King Jr., I believe. So a great song about America and its potential, and so true. I think it's still very fitting today. But before you go sing the lullaby of American Pie, let's take a look at the modes of each of your brothers and sisters today and exactly where they're trying to one-up their energy. Plus, I'm going to give you a little extra bonus today. Remember, Mars at step 10 in Taurus. So today, for each of the 12 zodiac signs, I'll be talking about what you are manifesting ahead with Mars and Taurus, starting with step 0's, the Scorpios. Scorpios, sunny, nesting, and resting for most of the day. The moon moves into Pisces later tonight and it goes into your heart. But you are basically, with the new Mars at 10 degrees, building a new marriage to yourself. So right now, all this strength is building a new partnership to yourself. The Leo, step 1, sunny and sentimental today, but you are building a new career foundation with the decisions and character decisions that you make right now. Step 2, the Cancers, sunny and detached today from their reality, but you are building a new layer of friendship or a new foundation of social connection with all this career stuff you're doing. Step 3, the Sagittariuses, sunny and chit-chatty today, I think out there shaking hands and kissing babies, but you are building a new work lifestyle right now with the heartfelt changes you're making. Step 4, the Aquariuses, sunny and cool with the moon in their sign, but you are building a new home, family, or emotional foundation. So the work you're doing to change your attitude is going to make you feel more at home. Step 5, the Geminis, sunny and passionate today, but you are building a fearlessness by going after the social realms that you want or the people that you want to connect to. So it's building fearlessness if you haven't noticed. Step 6, the Librans, sunny and childlike with the moon in Aquarius today. But you are building a new self-trust by doing all this work in relationships. So by stepping up in your marriage and mirage, you are actually building a new foundation of self-trust. Step 7, the Pisces, cloudy but content today. You are building a worry-free mind. So what you're doing right now is trying to up the ante in your soul capital, and what you get, this will turn into a worry-free mind. So it's worth it, you know that. Step 8, the Capricorns, sunny and productive today, but you are building a new creative foundation or a new relationship to your inner child. So by doing this foundation work, you're creating a new inner child connection. Step 9, the birthday Aries. Happy birthday, Aries. Sunny and social to you, social today for you. All this work for your character building and what to be and not be, what to act on, not act on, building a foundation of self-esteem for you today. And Mars is helping you with that, your ruling planet. Step 10, the Tauruses, the Moo Bookaroos, sunny and professional today, but you are building a new strength in yourself with all this higher faith work. So you're going to end up being stronger at the end. Thank goodness for that. Then finally, step 11, the Virgos, sunny and healing, I think, for most of today, but you are building a new foundation of believing in yourself by going through these transformations. So it's well worth whatever effort it has been, my friend. Well, let's move on to Lightwalker Parade. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. We thank you ahead of time. And on Facebook, you can be our friend by navigating to soulgarden.me. And if you'd like to check out a step reading or any other product or service that I offer, come on down to soulmart.me. There's also an email list you can join there where I'll start to email you in the mornings that Namaste Today is coming out. And hey, check out our modern mommies. The ladies actually did a fabulous episode on the California water crisis and the Nestle Corporation. I guess Nestle is doing some harm to California. We don't have very much water as it is, but apparently we're selling it to Nestle for some reason. So find out why. I think this is very important times for us to be conscious of these sorts of things. And I thank you ahead of time, as always and every day, for watching me. I'm available at soulgarden.tv, and I will be back tomorrow with more. Remember, I love you, and live, love, be. This is just so ironic.